thank you so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. It's the latest on trend with your girl, Biani. Let's talk engagement, guys, because we have a new to-be couple in town, a new bride to be, a new husband to be, a new couple in town. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are officially engaged after a year and a half of dating. They are currently trending at the moment, but we're gonna get to the reason why they are the most talked about at the moment in terms of couples that are officially engaged, because we've been seeing engagements left, right and center. Like, people are really going for it. Okay, these guys are really popping the questions, and I am here for it. I love it. You know, I'm a sucker for love, so I'm so here for this. Now, the 35-year-old actress made the announcement by sharing a video of their intimate proposal with her Instagram following, citing that it took place on Tuesday, January 11. Oh, that is such a cute video. She noted in her post a lengthy caption. Do you know what? Let's read the caption, guys, because this is where it's a little bit like... So she says, in July of 2020, we sat under this banyan tree. We asked for magic. We were oblivious to the pain we would face together in such a short, frenetic period of time, unaware of the work and sacrifices the relationship would require from us, but intoxicated of the love and the karma. Somehow, a year and a half later, having walked through hell together and having laughed more than I ever imagined possible, he asked me to marry him. And just as in every lifetime before this one, and as in every lifetime that will follow it, I said yes. And then we drank each other's blood.
And then we drank each other's blood.
That threw me off. What? What? What do you mean is that what we're doing now? Like, I'm sorry, this is so strange. Like this, you know, guys, I don't play around with stuff like that. I don't play around with witches, white witches, voodoo. I don't even do Halloween, vampires. Like, I do not play around with stuff like that, because I know how real, and I know the impact, and I know that world is real, and that world is probably more real than your physical body that you can touch. But obviously, if you are not open, or if you're not in tune, or if you don't believe, then cool, that's fair enough, that's you. But I don't mess about with that. Like, I will not be drinking nobody's blood, fam. Like, if you ask me to marry you and you ask me to drink your blood, I'll be like, say what now? I don't know what kind of initiation like that they are doing, like what type of covenant that they have signed. Okay, but that is crazy. Life is in the blood. They know that they are tapping in to something, and they are covenanting to something. They are inviting something, and that's crazy to me. That is wild. You know, sometimes people experience certain things in life, spiritual things, attacks, you know, people have sleep paralysis, or people go through certain things like in their dreams, you know, and their dreams are so real that they're literally like, it's an experience. Or some people really deal with some deep level of psychosis and wonder, like, where did this come from? What is going on? Not knowing that there is something open in your life, there is a door open in your life. And yes, I know I'm going deep, but guys, this is deep. Like, when I'm a sucker for love, but when I read that bit, I was just like, and then we drank each other's blood. Like, what the hell? But they are weird anyway, so each to their own, but just not over here, and we don't do that. And that's just weird to me. Like, to me, I'm just like, oh right, okay, do you know what, let me leave you guys to it and do what you lot do. But that's scary. That stuff is just so wild and scary to me. Now, on the topic of love, although we are experiencing a lot of love making at the moment, there is also a lot of heartbreak. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have announced their split. The former couple married back in 2017. In a statement, they said, "We have all felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times. A revolution is unfolding, and our family is of no exception. Feeling and growing from this seismic shifts occurring. And so we share our family news that we are parting ways in marriage. we share that this is not because we think it's newsworthy, but so that as we go about our lives, we may do so with dignity and honesty. Love between us carries on, evolving in ways it wishes to be known and lived. We free each other to be who we are learning to become. Our devotion unwavering to this sacred life and our children, teaching our children what's possible, living the prayer, may love prevail. J and L. Just a few things from this statement like that I just want to touch. First of all, they've been together for 16 years. They began their relationship in 2005 and married in 2017. So they've had 4 years of marriage and 16 years of being together. What's interesting is that they say, we felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times. A revolution is unfolding. A lot of couples I find that separate, break up, divorce always seem to say that they just grow apart. I think this is just a fancy way of saying we just grew apart. Time is forever evolving and it's quickly changing, and we are also we also have to move with the change and move with the time. And sadly, this revolution that is happening, this shift that is occurring, is tearing us apart, is kind of drawing us apart. It's almost like saying the universe is pulling us apart, and this is the way that the world is functioning, is going. And unfortunately, we're just finding that we are evolving as different people. And then they go on to say we free each other to be who we are learning to become. And this is in parallel with them saying that time is changing. And because time is changing, it's transforming us into becoming new beings, and we have to learn to become that. And staying together is restricting, it's not allowing us to evolve into the new beings that we are being transformed into. So that's really interesting to me. There's a lot of depth in what they are saying. They've really coded it in a lot of fancy words, but simply they are just saying that time is changing. It's scary to me because it's almost like, okay, so do people kind of get married and then get to a certain point where they're like, this is it, this is our time now, this is where we park and we separate, because the world is going to forever evolve and change. So are people who are getting married today, are they going to do the same thing then? Because the world is constantly going to change. Oh my gosh, it's going to change so much so that I don't even know what the key to staying together is anymore. Because if they are feeling that, of course everybody's different, and I'm not saying that everybody will experience this, but it just seems to be a thing. It's something that I've noticed quite a lot, especially when these statements come out. It's interesting because they say the love between us carries on, evolving in ways it wishes to be known and lived. I just feel like there's a lot of deepness in the way that they've written this text. This text is really, really heavy. If time is forever evolving, and if we are experiencing this seismic shift, if we are experiencing this transformational time, this revolution, then are you not able to then grow with that person? Are you not able to then see the change in that person? Are you not able to aid and support the changes that comes from that person? Are you not able to mold one another? Or are people just looking for a sense of freedom? Are people being programmed to just be independent? Is individualism really becoming the priority, rather than actually submitting and committing yourself to unity and to the vows that you took? One should chase 1,000 and two should chase 10,000, and two is better than one. Do we not believe that? Do we not see that being more effective than being alone? There's so many questions, but what I will say is that I love the way that they've put the text together, even though I feel like it's very coded. But I do love the text because I feel like it's very deep, and it's almost very it gives me very spiritual vibes. It gives me very like, okay, it's dug deep from somewhere, and it's almost, there's so much truth in that, because yes, there is a shift, like there is so much revolution, there is so much change, but are we not able to adapt and be moldable to the change, especially in a committed union, like in a something that you have vowed yourself to? Why must it tear you apart, like especially after so many years? I don't know, guys, I don't know, like I'm just, when it comes to this topic of marriage, I'm literally just like, I am so over seeing people just like break up. Like, of course, you know, I don't know what it means to be with somebody for like 16 years, and you are, you know, you go through your constant battles and you're trying to find yourself, because we are forever evolving, and that's normal. That is what it should be like as a human being, like as a living human being, like you should be forever grow. And if you guys remember, when you do grow, you get growing pains, and those growing pains, if you internalize it, those growing pains will not feel comfortable. Those growing pains will put you out of comfort. Those growing pains will make you feel uncomfortable. It will make you feel unstable. It will push you to your limit, because you are stretching, you are growing. But that is a beautiful thing. That is a part of life. Like, if you are not experiencing, you know, that stretch, if you're not experiencing that transition, that resistance and that strain and that stretch, means that you are pushing forth, you are growing, and anything and everything that has life in it should be evolving, it should be growing, you know, it should be molding. You will find that it's more painful the less moldable you are, the more painful it's going to be. Because imagine trying to mold a bone, like imagine trying to mold like something that is not supposed to mold, like something that can snap easily. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to be moldable, and that's why you're experiencing a lot of pain. Like when you are a baby, they say that is the best time to join like things like gymnastics or practice on certain things, because your bones and everything is still moldable, like you're still very flexible. Then if you don't practice that, you reach an adult stage where everything is kind of stiff now, it's in place, and for you to try and get back that flexibility, it's a lot of pain, like it's more painful. And I feel like in context, that's the same way that it can be relatable, because if you resist, like if you are not moldable in life, you're going to find it extremely painful and extremely hard, more painful, more hard, because you're having to try and mold and stretch in ways that you're not even able to anymore, because you don't want to submit yourself, you don't want to humble yourself. And the thing that I've learned about marriage also is a big part of marriage is carrying a servanthood heart. It's not to say that you are a slave to your partner, but marriage is a commitment to serve your other half. Marriage is a sacrifice to ensure that the person that you have committed yourself to is able to fulfill their purpose. You're able to fulfill purpose and manifest purpose within that union. And so if people go into marriage wanting individualism, wanting what oneself wants, wanting to be independent, then there's going to be a lot of resistance. But you can't go into an institution where it's about being submissive, and being submissive is not just one party, it's for both parties. You know, you have to submit onto the other, like you have to submit to your partner, you have to be humble in your home, you have to be humble to your partner. So in order for you to do that, you can't do that when you're trying to find yourself. I feel like because the world is evolving so much, yes, we will reach a point where you know, we need to find our feet and ground ourselves in the new times and the new sphere, in the new place that we have evolved to. However, like, that is even where your partner should even push you more, step back or step in, or do something to help you to ground yourself in that new space. But instead, I feel like what people do is that because it's a new space, so they've never been there before, so they don't know what to do. They either panic, or they either get lost, or they either something happens where they lose the true essence of the reason why they committed themselves, or the reason why they covenanted themselves to this unionship. And so they tend to be selfish, and they tend to want to be alone, find themselves, and then they separate. And I just don't feel like that is the right way to go about it. And the reason I say that is because with any new level that you reach in life, you need to be given the right tools to be able to conquer that space. And if you don't have the right tools because you've not been to that in that space before, then you're gonna try and use the old techniques, the old tools into a new space, and it's just not going to work. Imagine, yeah, using an old key to your old house and trying to use that into your new house. It's not gonna work. You need the new key for your new home. But how many people actually obtain that new key to enter into the new home? A lot of people try and use an old key, old tools, old techniques into a new space. And so I feel like there's so much to this context, and I really like the text, and I'm actually quite sad that, you know, they are parting ways. But what can we do, man? This is just the times that we are living in now, and it is what it is, guys. But that is all for me. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. I was just really trying to break down the text and try to understand it for myself and my perspective. So please let me know yours as well, because this is something that I actually take a lot of interest in. So for them, it is goodbye. But it's so interesting to me, like when couples break up and they're like, we are separating, but our hearts will always be together, connected. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, no, it won't. Like, I don't know if that is just, you know, to try and keep this sweet thing going, and it's like in reality, like, it's really not like that. For the most part, a lot of time when people break up, it's not love that remains, although it's nice when it is, and you know, in some aspect it should be like that, but most of the time people just want to like move on and forget about you, especially if they've been deeply hurt. So guys, that is just a little quick video for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will speak to you guys in my next video.